So it depends on in what context you ask that question, right? And the thing is, in the end, the market decides, right? So in my opinion, the way that I would understand engineering project would be a whole application. So is an application worth it to build? Well, only if people pay for it, right? Or only if it has some use case, because in the end, it's about, making money. So does it in some way, in the end, lead to revenue? It doesn't need to be that people pay for this specific application, right? Because it could also be a service that makes other parts of your main app more efficient, which will then lead to more customers, right? Or maybe it's something that you use for marketing, which will lead to more customers, right? Or you contribute something to open source, which leads to better applications, in the sense of like people applying to your job, more high quality candidates. And that will then in turn also lead to better software. But can you predict these things? I don't think so, which is why the market is the way it is, right? Because when you create a startup, you don't know if that app will be successful or not. You might invest literally months of your time or maybe even years, and then you launch your app and no one wants it, and you just wasted years of your life. So creating a startup and creating your own software is super high risk because maybe you invest years of your life, months of your life, and no one will pay you for it. But also, if people really like it, people can become very, very rich. So it's a very, high risk, high reward situation. And as I said, so even in the context of a single business, right, should you build like this helper package, should you build this SDK or something like that, should always be evaluated in terms of like what is the likelihood that this will in the end generate value and revenue for the company.